Afternoon, guys. Back out with another video here out in my area of the woods where I usually hunt. Gonna do some scouting here in a little bit, actually in a little while. So I'm gonna knock out a video for you guys. Picked up some new things, some in the recent past, some very recent, actually 3 to be specific. So I figured while I'm out here I'd bring it out with me, show you guys what I got. You know, leave a comment on the video if you want. If you're so inclined to do so, let me know what you think. I like reading the comments. I try to read every one of them. Some of them slip by here and there, but I do my best to read them all and respond to as many as I can. So if you guys remember right while I was deployed, I think I mentioned this. I was going to pick one of these up. It's a Samic Sage takedown recurve bow. They used to sell for like $119. They're up to a whopping $129 at the moment. Absolute beautiful bow. I haven't shot it yet. I got some things yet I want to do to it. Not too much. I'd like to keep it, you know, semi, I wouldn't say primitive, machine made, but as traditional as possible, I guess. I wanted to add some silences to it. Still not quite sure what I want to do with that. I was thinking some red squirrel fur or something like that, but we'll see when the time comes what it ends up being. The only other thing that I might do to it, just add a little flipper rest for my arrows, and that's probably gonna do it for that. Like I said, I want to keep it as bare as possible, traditional as possible. I do have my compound bow I've had for years. I love that thing. It's shot more deer than I can count now. Pretty happy with that as well, even though I think I bought it in '95 or something like that. Still works great. I wouldn't say it's getting boring, but I like more of a challenge, which is why I got into archery hunting to begin with. You know, aside of getting away from all the retarded people out here carrying guns and stuff, but you know, it's peaceful out here. You usually don't see too many hunters when you're bow hunting, so that's right up my alley. Like I'm saying, the compound bow is just like, you know, if I get a deer within range, you know, 90% of the time it's home in the freezer, not after too long. So pretty easy with that. I mean, you still get, you know, shit happens, so to speak, but you know, for the most part I'm right on with that thing, and I've shot a ton of deer with it. So I wanted a little more of a challenge, a little more traditional setting, so I'm going to try this out this season, and if all goes well, I'd like to move from this to that maple bow that I'm doing that series on. Still got to do some work to that, but I'd like to finish that up. This bow I'll shoot, probably to start with, I'll probably shoot my carbon arrows that I have from my compound bow, just to start out with, but I'd like to make my own primitive type arrows, fletch them myself, you know, Napa point, haft it on myself and all that, and just use that with this bow. And that's the only thing I'll use when and if I go to the maple bow, when that's done, depending on, you know, how it turns out. So that's one of the things I picked up. You know, I ordered it while I was away overseas. Couldn't wait to get home and check it out. Really nice bow. I got 60-pound pull on the limbs. You can order them, you know, to whatever suits you, I believe, from like 35 pounds up to 60 in 5-pound increments. So for $129, you can't beat it. All right, another thing I recently just picked up. I had one almost identical to this. Actually, the only difference was it was a 20 gauge. But picked up one of the all too familiar single shot 12 gauge, pardon the model, 3-inch modified choke. My dad actually gave this to me. His father had a gun collection, my dad has a gun collection, and I told him I was looking for one. He had this, he bought brand new. This thing's never even been shot, other than, you know, the test firing at the factory or whatever, but he's never shot it, bought it brand new, just to match one almost identical that his dad gave to him, my grandfather. So my dad passed this on to me, so thanks Dad for that, very happy with it. As far as everything goes about this gun, sorry about the cars in the background. You know, it's pretty much been beat to death on YouTube, so I'm not going to really get into anything. I don't have any special plans on modifying this other than maybe put a sling on it, and that'll be about it for this. No kit additions, nothing like that. Just keep it just the way it came. All my kit, you know, I carry on me, so pretty happy with this. Can't wait to use it. You guys know, usually pretty avid bow hunter. That's all I tend to do for the most part over the past, just I don't even know, 10-15 years or whatever it's been now. But I like to do a little more this year other than just deer hunting. I might try, when I was younger, did some pheasant, quail, grouse, you know, occasional rabbit hunts, stuff like that. So I'd like to go out, do a little bit of that this year if I can, if time allows. So that'll come in handy for that. My favorite, most recent purchase. So I had my eye on a 597 Remington 22 long rifle from Dick's Sporting Goods. Ran into all kinds of issues with them. One store tell me one thing. Went to pick the gun up. They put it back on the shelf for sale. Their system was down, so I couldn't buy one right there on the spot. Went to another store. They wouldn't help me because the other store told me to change my license, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, went to the local dealership, which is probably always better, you know, better customer service, stuff like that. And it was probably a blessing in disguise. I ended up with a far better rifle out of the deal. It cost me a little bit more money, but not much. Picked up this Savage 22 mag. The thing's absolutely beautiful. I've heard a lot of good things about it. You know, YouTube, Facebook, some of the forums I'm on. It's just a beautiful gun, you know. So only thing I have left to do is mount the scope on it. That's the only issue I had. I bought a Simmons 22 mag scope. Nothing fancy, it's like a $40 scope, but Simmons makes a good scope, so I'm told. So I picked this up. The only issue I had with it was the rings that come to mount it on the gun. The dovetail on the bottom of it is meant for a grooved barrel 22. I don't have that. I'll show you what I got. They're just big lugs here. You can see those. So the dovetail on the ring, I'll show you one this way if you can see it. So the dovetails on the rings are a lot smaller, but less width than these are, so it wouldn't fit on. So I just have to go back and pick up a couple different rings. Not a big deal. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like 11 bucks, something like that. And that's my new rifle for when I get up there on the trap line as well. I've mentioned I got my hunting and fishing license up in Maine, so can carry that legally now. There's no closed season for coyote up there. Really wouldn't want to shoot one, you know, until the trapping season because their fur isn't prime or anything like that, but you know, shit happens, right? So looking forward to get the scope on that thing, take it to the range, get it dialed in, and you know, good luck to whatever's on the other end of that thing once I get it right. So those are the 3 new pieces: 22 mag, the takedown recurve Samic Sage, and the Podna single shot 12 gauge. Things I've added to my collection here lately. Not a real big gun collector by any means. I only own 3. Really not big into that. You know, I touch as many weapons as you want to touch in the military, so no need to keep them at home. And that's about it. Like I said, just all here messing around. I figured I'd bring a couple things out, show you guys what I've got here in the recent past, and go go from there. So thanks for tuning in. Again, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Any ideas you might have to mod any of these things out, especially the bow. Like I said, I'd like to keep that as simple as possible, but you guys have good ideas too, and I learn from you guys just as much. So thanks for tuning in for this quick one, and we'll see you guys soon with the next one.